To our top story this morning, it is day 11 of the farmers' protest, and there seems to be no end to this particular deadlock between the centre and the farmers. The farmers are sitting at a protest at Delhi borders. They are adamant on their demand to roll back the new farm laws. This third round of talks with the centre ended inconclusively last evening. Farmers said that their call for Bharat Bandh on 8 December and protest is going to continue till the government gives a clear yes or no an answer in the next meeting scheduled for 9th of December. This is coming in as the government tried to convincing the farmers for an amendment instead of rolling back the laws. Union Agricultural Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said that the MSP is going to continue to stay and they are ready to clear all the doubts of the farmers.
किसानों के हितों के प्रति मोदी जी की सरकार प्रतिबद्ध है, तो जो कुछ होगा या जो कुछ किया जाएगा वो सिर्फ किसानों के हित में ही होगा। इसका भरोसा देश के किसानों को रखना चाहिए।
देखिए, जब वॉकआउट की बात हुई तब ऑनरेबल एग्रीकल्चर मिनिस्टर ने सबको समझाया। उस दौरान हमने भी आपस में बात की कि क्या करना चाहिए, क्या हमारा सिचुएशन होना चाहिए। उस हिस्से पे ऊपर हमने जैसा कल डिस्कस किया था हमारे पूरे देश के किसान नेताओं के साथ में, तो यही हुआ कि जब तक ये गवर्नमेंट फार्म बिल्स जो है वो रोल बैक नहीं करती तब तक हमारा आंदोलन जो जारी रहेगा। अलॉन्ग विद न्यू MSP कानून जो है वो बनाना है।
जो आज होया मीटिंग में कुछ नहीं है, एक सरकार की चाल है। जो सरकार चाहती है ना सिर्फ मीटिंग करनी, समा बर्बाद करना, यही है और कुछ नहीं है। वो सोचती है कि हम पब्लिक में शो करें कि हम लोग किसानों से बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन किसान ही हमसे मान नहीं रहे। लेकिन किसान की दो ही मांगे हैं, बिल रद्द करो, उसके बाद में हमसे जो 2-4 डिमांडें और भी, और पहले नंबर पे एक ही डिमांड है कि बिल रद्द करेंगे तो हम लोग धरने हटाएंगे, नहीं तो नहीं हटाएंगे। सरकार की पता नहीं क्या चाल है, क्या चाहती है, कुछ ना कुछ इसकी गेम है। पता नहीं क्या करेगी, गोली मारेगी, लाठी मारेगी, क्या करेगी, इसकी कोई नीति साफ नहीं है। कुछ ना कुछ इसमें गड़बड़ लगता है।
Yet another round of talks ending inconclusively. There seems no end to the deadlock between agitating farmers and the centre. On Saturday evening, the third round of talks ended without yielding any results. The farmers resorted to silent protest in the meeting, which lasted for almost 5 hours.
तकरीबन 6 घंटे 5वीं मीटिंग चली। सुजेशन ही तो देते आए हैं अब तक, सुझाव ही तो देते आए हैं अब तक। सुझाव दे दे के थक चुके हैं, पक चुके हैं और हताश हैं, परेशान हैं। सरकार इस बात को मूंछ का सवाल बनाए बैठी है, हठ धर्मी और जिद्दी बनी बैठी है।
However, the centre is still trying to convince the farmer unions.
हमने कहा है कि MSP जारी रहेगी। अब 9 तारीख को पुनः ये बैठक होगी। किसी के मन में कोई शंका है तो सरकार उसका समाधान करने के लिए पूरी तरह तैयार है।
The government sought more time from farmers to come up with a proposal till December 9th, when the next round of talks will be held.
9 ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਪੋਜ਼ਲ ਭੇਜੂਗੀ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਕਰਨ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ। ਯੈਸ ਤੇ ਨੋ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਰ ਕੇ ਪੇਪਰ ਫੜ ਲਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਕਿ ਈਦਰ ਯੈਸ ਈਦਰ ਨੋ।
But the farmers want nothing less than repealing of laws and are seeking a clear answer from the government ahead of next meeting.
हमारी मांग जो अमेंडमेंट वगैरह थी वो सब आज पीछे चली गई। सरकार ने बड़ा जोर लगाया पहले बहुत देर कि आप ये है, ये करवा लो, सब करने के लिए तैयार हैं, पर एक बात के ऊपर भी अड़ गए कि नहीं, टोटल ही रद्द करना पड़ेगा आपको।
Farmers have already upped the ante from award wapsi to Bharat Bandh call on December 8th. Bharat's Kisan looks in no mood to back off.
ऐसे ही मोर्चे लगा करके बैठे रहेंगे।
लगा रहेगा
भारत बंद तो क्या होगा?
वो तो रहेगा ही। हाँ, मीटिंग भी रहेगी, भारत बंद भी रहेगा, सब कुछ रहेगा।
After 3 rounds of talks between the farmer unions and the government at Delhi's Vigyan Bhavan, there seems to be a dead end approaching. The both sides are not relenting. The farmers are saying, take back the bills. Government says, talk about anything else. Right now, it's a confrontation, which is bad news, between a government which was voted by the majority and a community which is the majority. In New Delhi with Ajay Thakur, Rahul Srivastava for India Today.
The West Bengal Police has named BJP leader Mukul Roy as a conspirator in its charge sheet filed in the murder case of Trinamool Congress MLA Satyajit Biswas in the Nadia district. According to CID, the state investigating agency, total 5 people have been named in the charge sheet till now. It includes Roy and BJP MP Jagannath Sarkar. CID sleuths had earlier questioned Roy, who is the national vice president of the BJP in the case and was granted anticipatory bail by the Calcutta High Court. Biswas was shot dead during a Saraswati Puja program in Nadia district in Feb 2019. BJP has termed the entire case as a conspiracy to suppress the opposition in Bengal.
देखिए ये ममता हम बोला है, हम चैलेंज किया है, ममता तू होम मिनिस्टर है, वो आदमी का सामने खड़ा होके बोलो जे बीइंग ए होम मिनिस्टर आई बिलीव जे ममता मुकुल इज इन्वॉल्व विद दिस टाइप ऑफ एक्टिविटीज. Let him say.
The law against love jihad has divided BJP in Karnataka. BJP State President Naveen Kumar Katil has said that Karnataka government is going to be taking strict action to stop love jihad in the state and added that law is always going to prevail on Karnataka. But in a U-turn, Karnataka law minister claimed that no decision has been taken regarding love jihad at a government level and there is no proposal that has come in before him. Meanwhile, you've got Karnataka Minister Ashoka slamming the former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and saying that the Congress is the one trying to support the conversion and change the culture which is existing in the state. Earlier, former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah met a delegation from the Muslim community who expressed fear of persecution if the government introduces a legislation banning love jihad. Remember, Uttar Pradesh remains the only state to have banned love jihad across the state. Karnataka, Assam, Haryana and Madhya Pradesh are mulling over passing the love jihad law.
ಒಂದು ಲವ್ ಜಿಹಾದಿಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕಠಿಣವಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಯ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ತಗೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ನಿರ್ದಾಕ್ಷಿಣ್ಯವಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾನೂನು ಕ್ರಮ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಕಠಿಣವಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾನೂನಿನ ರೂಪನ ಈ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಗೋಹತ್ಯೆ ನಿಷೇಧ ಕಾನೂನನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ತಂದೇ ತರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಸಂಶಯ ಬೇಡ, ತಂದೇ ತರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಯ ಪ್ರಥಮ ಅಂಶ.
ಹೀಗಾಗಿ UP ಅವರು ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಡಿನೆನ್ಸ್ ಹೊರಡಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದರ ಪ್ರತಿಯನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗೂ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಲವ್ ಜಿಹಾದ್ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಒಂದು ಕಾನೂನು ಬಂದೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. CM ಅವರು ಒಪ್ಪಿದ್ದಾರೆ. CM ಅವರೇ ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕಾರಿ ಸಮಿತಿ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಕಟಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರೇ ಪ್ರಕಟಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಗೊಂದಲ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ.
ಭಾಳ ಜನ ಹಿಂದೂ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರೋರು ಭಾಳ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಫೂಲಿಶ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಐ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು, ಅಂಡ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಡಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಟ್ ಲವ್ ಜಿಹಾದ್ ತರಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕಾನೂನು ತರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಕಾನೂನು ಡಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಟ್.
The BJP has raided K. Chandrasekhar Rao's citadel. The saffron party that has built the civic poles as the fight between Hyderabad and Bhagyanagar may have lost a tight race, but it has nevertheless emerged as a real winner. Here's more on that story.
The BJP may not have won the Greater Hyderabad municipal polls, but emerged as the biggest gainer. The party, which had just 4 seats in 2016, won 48 seats in 2020, coming in second after the TRS.
हैदराबाद में भी जो जनता का जनादेश है वो इस बात का प्रतीक है कि लोग विकास के साथ, विश्वास के साथ जुड़.
Telangana's undisputed boss K. Chandrasekhar Rao and his party may have managed to keep Hyderabad, but has lost considerable ground to the BJP.
You certainly address all the issues as to why the desired outcome was not given by the people. While we have emerged as the single largest party, we'll certainly discuss everything in detail.
The Saffron Party has completely squeezed Congress, which won just 2 seats out of the picture. BJP is now in a good position to mount a challenge to KCR in the 2023 assembly polls.
जो जजमेंट है वो तेलंगाना में पूरा प्रभाव होगा. भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लिए आने वाले दिन में एक रास्ता सरकार मानने के लिए आज का वोटिंग के सिस्टम से, आज के रिजल्ट के सिस्टम से जनता बता दिया है.
The other gainer is Asaduddin Owaisi. His party, AIMIM, has the best strike rate among the 3 parties and has held on to his bastion with 44 seats.
The BJP has firmly positioned itself as a principal opposition party in Telangana, and after Karnataka, the Saffron Party now has another southern state with significant presence. Now the focus will shift to Tamil Nadu and Kerala, which so far rejected the Saffron Party. With camera person Murthy, Ashish in Hyderabad for India Today.
Our consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai exclusively spoke to AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi on this. Listen in.
Mr. Owaisi, the fact though is the BJP, which was a single-digit party in terms of seats and percentages, now has got 35% vote share, gets 49 wards out of the 150. Clearly, the BJP must now believe that they are now a party of power, a new power center in Hyderabad. You cannot deny that. They are now the new player in a way in Hyderabad politics, which until now was seen to be dominated by TRS and you.
Well, Rajdeep, as far as you as an anchor is concerned, I find you as a Sachin Tendulkar of anchoring when you do election reporting. And I would like to remind you through your memory that when Telangana was created, we had YSRCP party, we had Congress party, which is on its last legs, Telugu Desam party, the Communist party, Chiranjeevi's party, and the Lok Sakta of Jai Prakash. Now, these political parties had nearly 17 to 18% of vote. That vacuum has been filled by BJP. So, please minus that this 18% vote of all these political parties, which has now come to BJP. And please understand, Rajdeep, that in 2009, the TRS didn't contest elections. In 5 years ago, in 2016, they could win 99. So, and Hyderabad is a cosmopolitan city. If BJP believes that just because they got 48 seats after contesting 150 wards, and then it's going to be a cakewalk in Telangana, please understand, mainland Telangana is completely different from cosmopolitan GHMC. There the regional feelings are very strong, and despite being not in this election, we opposed TRS, I still feel that KCR is a regional face as far as Telangana regional feeling is concerned. And my last point, Rajdeep, is that in Nizamabad Municipal Corporation election, which was held 10-12 months ago, the BJP is sitting MP. Please ask the BJP guys who has the mayor and deputy mayor in Nizamabad Municipal Corporation. Karimnagar Municipal Corporation, which is headed by, which MP is now the president of BJP. Who's the mayor and deputy mayor? BJP is not to be found over there. That is why I say that it will be completely wrong to form an opinion that just because BJP has got 48 seats and it will be a cakewalk for them in mainland Telangana. That will not be a case, because there is a regional feeling. KCR, not his party, KCR represents that regional feeling of Telangana.
Hyderabad was seen, some even saw it at one stage as a potential second capital for this country. Has Hyderabad changed as a result of the entry of the BJP? Will Hyderabad change really now? Are we seeing now the politics where the urban middle class in particular is now vulnerable to the kind of rhetoric we've seen in the Hyderabad campaign? To that extent, Asaduddin Owaisi, will Hyderabad remain the same?
Rajdeep, you talk about Hyderabad. India has changed since BJP has come into power. Since Mr. Modi has become the Prime Minister, India has changed. You see mob lynching. You see people being killed in the name of cow. You see people who are convicted being garlanded by BJP. You see now laws are made against people marrying and love, which is a blatant violation of Article 14 and 21. BJP is trying to change India. Forget about Hyderabad. BJP is trying to finish the social fabric of our country. Why do you exclude Hyderabad? It is the whole country's social fabric which BJP wants to change. That is the real challenge for people who believes in the true secularism which is defined in the India's constitution.
And Team India bowlers had a splendid IPL this season, but it was surprising to see the way they performed in the first two ODIs. However, the bowlers now seem to have adjusted quite well to the conditions, which is evident with the way they have performed in the last two games.
The last few years have seen Indian bowling as the most improved breed.
Umpire Bruce Oxenford ruling in favour of Jasprit Bumrah.
But the first two ODIs gave a completely different picture.
Aaron Finch just rocks back.
After two ordinary games, the Indian bowlers seem to have found their mojo back.
We've shown character in the last game with the bat, with the ball, and then this game again with the bat, with the ball. So, yeah, look, we have to keep coming back. In Australia, if you have to play well, you have to play with heart, and you have to show proper intensity till the last ball of the game.
Jasprit Bumrah struggled in the first two games of the tour, but got everything going in the final ODI at Canberra. T. Natarajan, in only his two international matches, has already given his captain a lot of confidence going into the future. Chahal, after two ordinary games in the ODIs, became the wrecker-in-chief in India's win in the first T20 international. The conditions in Australia have been different, and the Indian bowlers have adjusted well to get things going for the team in its quest to conquer the Aussies again.
Washington Sundar, the bowler.
Washington Sundar may not have got a wicket in his first game of the tour, but did enough to choke Aussies with his off-spinners, a job that Jadeja also has been doing so very consistently.
And I think with the ball as well, Natarajan has come in beautifully. He looks like a guy who can really develop his skill set and be an asset for us in white ball cricket. I think Deepak Chahar was outstanding on the night as well. Chahal bowled beautifully. Washi, going for 16 and 4 overs on this kind of a pitch was outstanding as well. So, look, all in all, a top performance. Yeah, look, the guys are standing up at the right times, and that's exactly what you want to see from the next lot coming in, because you understand that these are guys that have to grab opportunities and make a strong squad going forward for India as well.
Cleaned him up, and that's why he's so good.
The batting, especially the top order, still remains a concern, but hopefully, with time, they too will get to hit the ball from the sweet spot before the marquee test series later this month.
This is Greg Rowell at his best.
Sports Bureau, India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.